Hello, campers. We're back again. Well, Windows 11 22H2 is here. And for those of you who were hoping that maybe Microsoft would change their mind about the hardware requirements, sorry, not happening. Not happening. Here's that Ryzen 2200G that I'm so fond of doing experiments on. And as you can see, we still have the same problem. So this problem is, I'm assuming, going to be ongoing. I don't expect it ever to change. Microsoft is not budging on the hardware requirements. However, that doesn't mean that we can't install it anyway. Now, I'll put a little link up here for a video that I did probably almost a year ago now on how to modify a USB thumb drive to allow you to install Windows 11 on unsupported hardware, and that method hasn't changed. You're still making the two USB thumb drives, you're copying the install file from the Windows 11 onto a Windows 10, and then you're going. So that hasn't changed. That method is there. It's not going away as far as I can tell. And that USB thumb drive can be used both for fresh installs and for upgrades. So, that hasn't changed. But there is one thing that that has changed. If you're doing a fresh install, whether it's unsupported hardware or not, Microsoft has done a few things to try and sort of negate getting around the Microsoft account requirement, even on the Pro version. That is absolutely in the 21H2 install without question. But we'll get around that. So we'll have to go from there. Anyway, I'm going to do a very quick redo, if you will, or kind of like, I don't know, maybe a replay, if you will, of doing the upgrade on an existing Windows 10 system to Windows 11 22H2. I'll be right back. All right, so once again, we're going to insert our modified thumb drive, which will come up here. There we go. That's there. And we're simply going to go into thumb drive that has been modified. Remember that there is a video that I've done on how to modify it. So all we're going to do, and also, by the way, make sure that your network is disconnected while doing this. That's my kind of default position. Whether you're doing a Windows 10 or a Windows 11 install, my first advice to you is to do it offline with the network disconnected. All we're going to do is go again through the setup on the modified thumb drive. It's going to run through the checks, and we'll go through this. This is old hat, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm just going to do everything that needs to be done, and I'll fast forward, time fade it, whatever, till we get to the end. Okay, we're there. Now we're going to plug in the network cable. And just real quick, we're going to go check for some updates. And that's pretty much going to be it for this section. I didn't want to put too much emphasis on this one because this is just exactly the same as it was before when I did this same type of video a year ago. So none of this has really changed. So with that in mind, let's go into here. And we will go to, well, there's the system. As you can see, it's still the 2200G, 16 gig, Windows 11 Pro, 22H2. Everything is there. So we're good to go. And I will fast forward through this too. I think there's going to be several updates. Yes, there are. So we're all fast forward through this and then we'll be done. All right, so that's it. It's done. It's over with. Short, sweet, to the point. I cut a lot of the footage out on this one because we've been down this road before. So there's really nothing new here. As long as you're upgrading an existing machine, which already has either 10, possibly 11 already on it, and you're upgrading, that's all old hat. You don't have to worry about anything about creating a Microsoft account. So let's move on. Let's go to what gets to be, I think, a little bit more interesting is we're doing a clean install. whether it's unsupported hardware or supported hardware, it doesn't matter. This clean install is going to be the same. So let's see what they've done to change things around a little bit and how we can get around it. All right, so we have got, we just rebooted the machine. I am hoping to get it to come up. There we go, with the correct item. We are going to boot off of the modified USB flash drive. And I'm going to show you what's going to happen down the road here. I'm going to go through a lot of the rest of this. Is going to be very quick. It's going to be edited very severely, but it's pretty much the same as you've ever seen a Windows installation go if you've been around for even just a little while. So obviously we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit next. We're going to hit install now. Again, just like anytime we've ever done anything else, again, make sure that your network is disconnected. Don't have a product key. We are going to be doing Pro because there's an OEM key associated with this motherboard and it should activate without any problem. We're going to hit next. Obviously accept next. Custom installation. Now we're going to get rid of all of these partitions. We're going to basically take everything off this drive because I want it on a unallocated drive. Obviously, if you're doing an upgrade, you're not doing this. But there we go. We got our unallocated drive. We're just going to hit next. And everything else is going to be the same as you've ever seen before. So we're going to skip through a lot of this. We're not going to spend much time on it at all. Okay, here's where things get interesting. All right, we're going to go through the process here. In the United States, yes. US, yes. We're going to skip additional layout. Now here's where things get interesting. Notice it says Ethernet not connected. It says that's true, but you notice there's nothing else on this screen that you can do. So you're kind of like, well, I'm stuck. Well, no, you're not actually stuck. Here is the method that I found that works actually quite well. Do Shift F10 to bring up a command prompt. Within this command prompt, you are going to type the following with no spaces. OOBE, which stands for Out of Box Experience, / bypass NRO. This will force the machine to reboot. And when it reboots, you're going to see an interesting little result here. Now, just like previously, we have to go through the United States again. We gotta go through the setup all over again. Hit yes, we're going to hit skip. Notice now the screen presents us with something different. Don't have internet. We now continue with limited setup. And here we go. After that, that's it. Everything is done. You just go through the motions of, taking out things that you don't want to have running or options or whatever. Once you've done that, that's it. You have created a local account. Everything will be fine. We'll skip to the end of the setup and I will show you that we do in fact have Windows 11 22H2 installed, in this case on unsupported hardware, but with a local account. Okay, there we go. We're there. Pretty simple, I think. Plug in the network cable, and we should be able to get updates here in just a second. You'll see the start menu populated, which means we are online. And we'll just go in to settings, and we will go to Windows Update, and we will check for updates, and There should be a few. There are updates that have to be installed, and it will proceed to do all of those. I think that's pretty much it. I think I've pretty much demonstrated that we have done what supposedly cannot be done. You can take that with a grain of salt. That's up to you. All right, so that's it. Getting around it, pretty easy. You keep trying, but there are people out there just as smart as Microsoft working on ways to get around this stuff. Anyway, I think that's going to be about it. Like I said, I've highly edited this video down just to get rid of all the fluff. And, you know, we are all, those of us who have done these installs before, we're pretty much familiar with how it goes and how the flow is and so forth and so on. But I just wanted to let you know, here we are a year later and getting Windows 11 installed on unsupported hardware, still not a problem. Again, the caveat here being, you do this at your own risk. I'm not going to be held responsible for it. I'm merely showing you what is possible. I'm sure that there will be people who will be giving me all kinds of grief, as the internet does, and especially other YouTubers do, for something I've either missed or skipped over, or that maybe I shouldn't have, or etc. But who cares? I don't care. Do this at your own risk, folks, which is what I've always said with pretty much anything that you're going to do changes to your system, major changes like this, whether it's hardware or software. You do this stuff at your own risk. Most of the time it goes just fine, and there's no problems. But hey, you never know. Anyway, toss a like if you want, and I'll see you again somewhere down the road. Thanks. We'll see you.